In today's video, we're going to be strengthening your pelvic floor to support your body throughout your pregnancy and help you to prepare for birth. Now, a strong pelvic floor is one that can contract and can fully lengthen. And often people struggle with one or both of these different pieces, which is why we're going to be practicing both of them in today's session. Now, our pelvic floor works directly with our diaphragm, which is that main breathing muscle in the base of your rib cage. So in order to have good coordination and strength of our pelvic floor, we have to train it with our breath. So you'll be hearing me cue you with your inhale and your exhale along with your pelvic floor throughout this video. From this view of the pelvic floor, we are looking from the bottom up. And I'll be cueing you as you inhale to think about widening the space between your two sits bones. As I cue you to exhale, you're going to be closing and narrowing the space between your two sits bones. And this is going to help you to create that connection and improved strength throughout your pelvic floor. So let's go ahead and get started on the mat. You're going to want to have 2 yoga blocks, a resistance band, and a chair. You'll notice that I have a light resistance band wrapped around the base of my rib cage. It is snug like a hug, but not restricting my breathing. If you don't have a band like this, don't worry about it. But if you do have one available, go ahead and grab it. They're really helpful. It's going to give you better body awareness with your breathing, which is going to help you better connect with your pelvic floor. So let's go ahead and start with our 2 yoga blocks. I'm going to be kneeling on my yoga blocks and then having my body in this inverted position with my spine nice and long. Now here, we're going to start with our breath. If you're able to, draw your breath in through your nose. Thinking about breathing all the way down to your pelvis and creating a widening between your two sits bones. As you exhale through your mouth, think about drawing your sits bones towards each other and then feeling that connection towards your pubic bone, lower abdominals, and upward. Once again, take that breath in slowly through your nose, trying to expand around where your resistance band is if you're wearing one, or if not, think about breathing into the back of your bra line. Exhale. Slowly breathing out. So slowing your breath down to kind of a count of 4 to 6 on both the inhale and the exhale is also really beneficial, so you can get more of that widening through your rib cage, which will create more widening through your pelvic floor, which will then also help with your contraction of your pelvic floor when you next exhale. One last time here, inhale. Exhale, all the way out. Let's transition to our next position. Yoga blocks can just go off to the side here. I'm going to come onto my hands and knees. So from here, you're going to take your breath in again. As you breathe in, think about it like an elevator that is lowering down to your pelvis, creating that widening and opening of the elevator doors between your sits bones. And then exhale. We close the elevator doors, close your sits bones, and then feel that connection upward as your breath exits. As you keep breathing here, I'm going to point out a few things. It is really common for people to start to round their spine or arch their spine as they're breathing here. So option to use a yoga block to give you some feedback to help keep your spine long if that's challenging for you. Also, I recommend using the yoga block as another prop between your 2 legs here with a little bit of a 30 to 50% squeeze around the block to activate your inner thighs. That can often help improve the connection to your pelvic floor if that's feeling challenging for you. So one last time here, taking that breath in, finding that expansion through the rib cage and your pelvic floor, and then exhale, like you're blowing candles out. Sits bones come together and you feel that contraction and lift of your pelvic floor. Now we're going to come into a seated position. Bring 1 yoga block with you. And in your seated position here, I want your feet to be flat on the floor. And you're gonna use your yoga block once again to just gently hug between your knees. Think like 30 to 60% effort there, just enough to feel that support. That's gonna activate the inner thighs, again, to help you connect better with your pelvic floor. So here, we're gonna start with that breath in, taking it in through our nose. Being thoughtful that we're not lifting our shoulders or arching in order to get that breath in. Think about it coming all the way down into your torso and pelvis to create that widening between your sits bones. On your exhale, we close the sits bones, feel that lift upward of your pelvic floor, and then our lower abdominals, middle and upper coming with us. Once again, inhaling, feel that elevator of your breath come down all the way to your pelvis. Feel that length. Exhale to lift up. One last time. Inhale to really feel that expansion all the way around your resistance band if you're using one. Feeling that expansion into your pelvis. Exhale to feel that lift. Finally, let's come up into standing because real life is often in vertical. And in this position, you're also going to use that yoga block. You can place it right between your thighs here. And again, think 30 to 60% effort. I want equal weight in both of your feet and a little micro bend in your knees. Once again, take that breath in through your nose. Focusing on that expansion and the expansion all the way down through your pelvic floor and sits bones. And then exhale. Draw those sits bones together and feel the rest of that lift happen as your breath exits. Once again, inhale. Exhale. Think about hugging baby with your abdominal muscles as you breathe out. One more breath in. Exhale. Hug baby. Check in that you haven't locked out your knees. And you're done. Great job practicing this today. As this becomes more automatic for you, you can start to practice without the prop of the yoga block, connecting in that way to strengthen your breath and your pelvic floor even more. And I recommend doing this series a few times a week to practice, especially in the particular positions that felt more challenging for you and your body. And then also, a strong pelvic floor is one that also has full body strengthening. So I recommend checking out some of my prenatal strength training videos to best support your body through all of that as well. Please let me know what questions you have down in the comments below about connecting with your pelvic floor, strengthening your pelvic floor, and any pregnancy questions that you have. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.